I'm Vivi. I never imagined that my husband Ethan, who had always been so loving, would bring home his pregnant mistress Sophia. Furious, I decided to divorce him. Ethan tearfully pleaded. I can't divorce you. But the baby's innocent. You should let her carry it to term. Sophia knelt crying. I won't interfere in your lives. Just let me stay until the birth. I'll disappear afterward. I swear. I thought my forgiveness would move Ethan. But the day Sophia's child was born, she deliberately dropped the infant in front of me and tampered with my car brakes, nearly killing me. When Ethan found out, he showed no concern, instead accusing, how could a mother murder her own child? Aren't you ashamed of slandering her like this? My heart turned to ice. On the baby's 1-month celebration, I prepared 2 special gifts. When the newborn arrived, Ethan shoved past me to rush to Sophia's side. You did great, he murmured, their fingers intertwining as they gazed at the infant between them. That perfect family portrait burned itself into my memory. I stood frozen until Sophia finally noticed me. Pale but smiling, she said, Vivi, come see our baby. He's adorable. Our baby? The words stabbed like knives. She clearly relished this moment, having forgotten all her promises. When I didn't move, Sophia told Ethan sweetly, Vivi's probably overwhelmed with joy at suddenly becoming a mother. Let me bring the baby to her. He nodded eagerly, oblivious to how his happiness humiliated me. We'd agreed to remain childless forever, that's why I'd gotten sterilized. Now he expected me to embrace his child with another woman. As bitter anguish flooded me, Sophia approached with the infant. Vivi, I know I wronged your marriage, she said with crocodile tears. But the baby's innocent. Hit me if you must. Just don't let this come between you two. I'll leave as promised. Ethan finally has the child he always wanted, he's yours now. Hold him. Her words dripped false sincerity. I saw the malice in her eyes as she thrust the baby toward me, then let go before I could react. The sickening thud of tiny limbs hitting marble shattered the room. Horrified, I stared at Sophia's triumphant smirk. Vivi, she wailed theatrically. How could you be so cruel? The commotion brought Ethan running. He scooped up the wailing infant, glaring at me like I was some repulsive creature. Sophia sobbed. Even if you hate me, how could you hurt the baby? I said I'd disappear. Can I explain that Sophia dropped him herself? My calm question only deepened Ethan's disgust. He shielded them from me like I was dangerous. Sophia sniffled. That's ridiculous. This is my flesh and blood. What mother would harm her own child? I laughed bitterly. What wouldn't you do to get your way? Enough. Vivi, Ethan roared, never having raised his voice at me before. I've tolerated your whims. But this crosses the line. Me? Crossing lines? Agony lanced through me as I stepped forward to confront them. In the next moment, Ethan slapped me across the face. Vivian, even a beast wouldn't harm its own child. How could you be so cruel? Simultaneously, the hospital room door opened as Mr. and Mrs. Ryan arrived. Seeing the elderly couple, Sophia immediately unleashed phony tears. She rushed forward and knelt before them. Uncle, Aunt, I'm sorry I wasn't strong enough to protect the baby. The elder Ryans turned to their son with alarm. What happened to the child? Ethan looked at his parents with disappointment. Vivi violently threw the baby on the floor. If I hadn't stopped her, I can't imagine what other atrocities she might have committed. What? The Ryans stared at me in horror. Mr. Ryan roared through gritted teeth. You monster. You've never borne children for our family all these years since marrying into the Ryans. Yet we never blamed you. But trying to kill an infant? Get out. Leave this hospital immediately. Don't you dare come near my grandson. I gave a bitter smile. All former emotions extinguished. Not even bothering to defend myself, I calmly asked, You'd truly believe an outsider over me? Consumed by rage, Mr. Ryan raised his hand to strike me again. How dare you speak? You're the one who keeps disappointing us. Is that so? I stepped back without explanation and resolutely left both the room and hospital, pressing the accelerator to the floor during the drive home. I didn't care how fast the speedometer climbed. My mind replayed once sweet memories now twisted into agony. That year Ethan and I met in high school, beginning our fateful bond. The year we entered university hand in hand. Inseparable. The year we exchanged vows, promising to reunite in future lifetimes. Then came the year he claimed to be drugged and slept with a stranger. I stayed loyal despite this betrayal. But 18 months later, visiting him after a car accident, I found an unfamiliar pregnant woman at his bedside. Our childless marriage wasn't accidental, we'd mutually chosen sterilization in our youth. Yet now he'd impregnated another. If the first incident was manipulation, how could the pregnancy 18 months later be anything but voluntary? When I demanded divorce, Ethan begged, "I love you too much to let go. The child's innocent, let it be born." Sophia knelt weeping, "I'll disappear after the birth. I swear." Afterward, Ethan visited Sophia every few days. I pretended indifference. But how could I truly remain unaffected? The day Sophia came to our home, Ethan was handing her water when a phone call interrupted. He rushed out, asking me to give her the glass. That night, Sophia was hospitalized with agonizing cramps. Doctors found emergency contraception drugs in the water. Ethan glared at me with unprecedented hatred. "Even if it's not your child, how could you be so heartless?" That was the first time I saw such venom in his eyes. I just added nothing to the water. "I truly don't know why this happened," I explained plainly, expecting Ethan's trust. Instead, his face twisted with disappointment. "Vivian, I know you've always resented that child, hated my infidelity, and held grudges against Sophia. But this excuse is beyond absurd. However flawed Sophia might be, she's the baby's biological mother. How could she harm her own child? Can't you even bother fabricating a plausible lie?" His cold rationality stunned me. Sophia appeared on cue, tearfully telling Ethan, "This is all my fault. I shouldn't have come back or carried this child." Ethan glared at me while comforting her. "You did nothing wrong. The baby's innocent." Emboldened, Sophia turned to me. "Vivi, hate me all you want. Beat me. Curse me, I'll endure anything. But please spare my child." Her words blatantly framed me as the villain. Enraged, I slapped her. "Say that again with a clear conscience." Sophia seemed pleased, even slapping herself twice more while sobbing. "Destroy me if you must. Vivi, just let my baby live. I'll die without regrets." Ethan's heartbreak was palpable. From that moment, an invisible wall grew between us while his connection with Sophia deepened. He visited her daily, eventually moving her into our home during my business trip. As memories flooded back, I suddenly realized my speeding car's brakes had failed. The collision with a tree came with crushing finality. Blood blurred my vision. My last hazy thought being Ethan's teenage self smiling at me in school uniform. I awoke hospitalized with Ethan beside me. "Still alive?" I asked flatly. He turned away. "The car caught fire. Sophia insisted we check on you." "Of course." My smile turned bitter. How noble Sophia seemed compared to my baby killer image. Ethan pleaded, "Stop tormenting Sophia. She'll leave after the birth. Can't you accept my child as your own?" I finally asked. "Ever wonder why my brakes failed? Why Sophia conveniently warned you?" "What are you implying?" He stood angrily. "That woman saved you," he snapped. "Yet you still vilify her. Have you no humanity?" His parents later echoed the sentiment. "Mrs. Ryan sighed. We pitied you initially. But these theatrics, Mr. Ryan shook his head. Self-harm protests? How petty. Alone. I touched my bandages. The bitter truth clear, Sophia's masterstroke had everyone convinced of my monstrosity while cementing her saintly image. My survival only deepened their contempt. Either she wanted to drug herself to abort the baby, or tried to kill the child by dropping it. Even threatened self-harm. Every single action chills me to the bone. You need serious time to reflect. After discharge, stay with your parents. Don't contact me again. After they left, I silently removed my wedding ring and made a call, initiate the plan. A sinister chuckle came through the line, should have partnered with me sooner. Vivi. Ethan never deserved your devotion. 2 weeks later, the Ryans summoned me to discuss the baby's 1-month celebration. I rushed through the meeting, only to encounter Sophia while driving away from their estate. Though I barely accelerated after turning onto the street, Sophia deliberately stepped into my path. At the hospital, X-rays confirmed a fracture. Before surgery, Sophia tearfully told Ethan, "Don't blame Vivi. This was my fault for appearing near her home. If my death could erase her resentment toward you and the baby, I'd gladly die." Ethan watched her wheeled into surgery with anguish. He stood frozen outside the doors before turning to me with conflicted eyes, walking away without a word. His silence spoke volumes. The Ryan family hosted an extravagant 1-month celebration, their mansion overflowing with guests whispering malicious gossip I'd grown accustomed to. Yet Ethan still invited Sophia. When she arrived on crutches, I knew she'd won. Even after the birth, this schemer wouldn't disappear. People like her always have hidden agendas. As for Ethan, he'd clearly forgotten how he'd begged me to let Sophia carry his child. I tried avoiding her, but Sophia cornered me. "Don't thank me for saving your life, Vivi. I just want you and Ethan to love each other and raise my child well." Her provocation was transparent. "You're truly exceptional," I remarked calmly. Her smile turned venomous. "Likewise. Such elaborate schemes," I continued, "framing me with contraceptives, faking the baby dropping incident. Even confessing now changes nothing. Who'd believe me?" Sophia sneered. "The brake failure? My doing. Had you died in that accident, I'd have replaced you without sacrificing my leg. The Ryans already see you as a baby-killing monster. The world laughs at the pathetic wife humiliated by her husband's mistress. What can you possibly do?" Her eyes glinted. "Let me give you one final lesson before you're cast out of the Ryan family forever." Then she suddenly threw away her crutches, grabbed my arm, and cried out in panic, "Vivi, please don't be angry. I'll leave if that's what you want." Before I could react, she deliberately threw herself to the ground. Blood began seeping through the cast on her leg. Her calculated performance immediately drew judgmental stares from the crowd. Ethan stormed over with a thunderous expression, tenderly helping Sophia up. Though pale with pain, Sophia kept murmuring, "I'm sorry, Ethan. I shouldn't have come. I didn't mean to make Vivi so upset." The look of utter disgust Ethan gave me could have frozen lava. "Vivi, how could you be so heartless? You've sunk lower than I ever imagined. Get out. Leave this place right now," he roared. I smiled calmly and approached him. "I'll leave after delivering my gift." "Producing divorce papers?" I asked. "How's this present? Satisfied enough to sign?" Ethan's face darkened when he saw the documents. "This is our son's full moon celebration. Stop making scenes. We'll discuss divorce another day." As expected, I nodded serenely. "Good thing I prepared 3 gifts. Since you dislike the first, let's move to the second." Every guest leaned forward in anticipation while Ethan and his parents turned ashen. If divorce papers were the opening act, what earth-shattering revelation came next? "Vivi, this is our child's celebration," Ethan snapped. "Must you ruin everything?" "Your child's celebration," I corrected coldly, my gaze sweeping over Sophia. "To be precise, the bastard son you conceived with your mistress." The banquet hall erupted. Whispers swelled into outraged murmurs. So the rumors were true. Ethan actually fathered a love child? How could respectable people sink this low? That homewrecker deserves to be shamed. Ethan's mother clutched her pearls while his father looked ready to combust. The once proud CEO shrank under hundreds of accusing stares. "Are you trying to destroy me?" he hissed. Sophia seized the moment, her voice dripping with fake concern. "Can't you see her scheme, Ethan? She waited until this public event to humiliate you. How vicious." I laughed mirthlessly. Coming from a chronic thief with multiple juvenile convictions? Your opinion means less than the dirt under my shoe. Her porcelain complexion blanched. You investigated me? Why not? I countered. Only criminals fear the light. The crowd's scandalized whispers crescendoed as security finally intervened. But the damage was done. The Ryans' perfect facade lay in smoking ruins. Sophia's face turned ashen. The Ryan family, being a prominent household, naturally couldn't tolerate their son associating with someone of such low character. Cheating during marriage was bad enough. But to do so with such a despicable person, even having a child together, was beyond disgraceful. Even ordinary people would find this humiliating, let alone a distinguished family like the Ryans. My exposure essentially socially ruined Sophia right then and there. Ethan immediately questioned her when she stammered, "Sophia? Are you truly this vile?" Sophia furrowed her brows. Suddenly, Ethan slapped her across the face, shouting in disgust, "You liar! You claim to be a fresh college graduate working at a Fortune 500 company who got laid off after offending your boss. It was all lies." Cornered, Sophia dropped to her knees with a thud. She slapped herself repeatedly before gazing up tearfully. "I'm sorry, Ethan. I never meant to deceive you. Our worlds were too different. I knew I wasn't worthy of you. So I had no choice but to lie. I lost all principles because I loved you too much. I'm so sorry." But, her voice softened pleadingly, "if given another chance, I'd do it all again. Because I love you, hopelessly, desperately." The crowd's contemptuous glares shifted to faint pity. Even Ethan fell silent, seemingly moved by her declaration of poisoned love. I finally understood how Sophia had ensnared him. What man could withstand such relentless devotion? As the atmosphere grew tense, I smiled coolly. "How touching. Now that we've established your undying love, allow me to present my second gift." All eyes snapped back to me. I produced a recorder from my pocket. Before anyone reacted, Sophia lunged at me like a wild animal, screaming, "Vivi! You scheming witch! You set me up!" My bodyguard swiftly tackled her to the floor, pinning her down as she snarled, "Those recordings are fake. Lies. Merely facts," I replied, pressing play. The crowd froze as Sophia's sneering voice echoed, "Surprised? I slipped the morning after pill in your drink. How else could I make Ethan despise you? The hospital incident where I dropped my own baby? All staged to frame you. Smashed your car's brakes myself. Too bad you survived. So I played hero saving your pathetic life. Wish you'd died in that crash. Then I wouldn't need to break my own legs to make Ethan hate you. Everything's true, so what? No one will believe you. You'll never win. Ethan's mine." Horrified gasps erupted as people instinctively backed away from the woman who'd drugged rivals, endangered her child, attempted murder, and mutilated herself, all for twisted love. No words like ruthless or inhumane could even begin to describe her. Using such terms would disgrace the English language itself. Who would dare approach such a venomous, despicable creature? How could any woman be so heartless? Someone gasped. To replace Vivi, she nearly killed her own child. When that failed, she plotted murder. When that didn't work, she sacrificed her own legs. Hiss. Such cruelty is appalling. How could Ethan choose someone like her? He comes from the prestigious Ryan family. Ethan must be blind. I'd rather date a homeless beggar than associate with this vicious viper. The crowd murmured in horror, instinctively backing away from Sophia and putting distance between themselves and Ethan. Ethan's eyes burned crimson, fists clenched. He couldn't believe the woman who doted on him daily had secretly committed such atrocities. Did you really do all this?" His voice shook. Sophia struggled against the bodyguards pinning her down. She lifted her tear-streaked face. "Everything was for you. Ethan. You monster." Ethan's last shred of restraint shattered like a collapsing dam. He slapped her viciously. "How could you? Call an ambulance." Someone shouted. Ethan's mother had collapsed from the shock, her blood sugar spiking. Chaos erupted as guests scrambled. Ethan's father roared, "Stop wasting time with this trash. Take this criminal to the police before she destroys our family. Haven't we suffered enough humiliation? The celebration dissolved into pandemonium thanks to my second gift. I slipped away during the commotion. Vivi. Where are you going? Ethan chased me outside. I turned to face him. The poised aristocrat was gone. Now he stood like a pitiful, jilted lover. Eyes pleading. In the past, I might have run into his arms. Now, my heart had turned to stone. Why follow me? My voice stayed frosty. Shouldn't you be celebrating your child's 1-month party with Sophia? That's our son. He sobbed. Bullshit. The audacity. After everything. How dare he? Stay. Vivi. Tears streamed down his face. Let's not divorce. We'll raise our child together. Build a happy family. Suddenly, I understood the ancient wisdom. A pitiful person surely has their despicable traits. Next time we meet, I cut him off. I expect signed divorce papers. As my car pulled away, the rearview mirror showed Ethan desperately chasing after me. Screaming please. His sincerity now seemed more genuine than ever. No one loathed this version of Ethan more than I. His remorse only surfaced after Sophia's true nature was exposed. Before this, he'd never trusted me. Each betrayal had shattered me. Now I'd simply given him a taste of that pain. Compared to his cruelty, my retaliation meant nothing. I came home late at night after drowning my sorrows alone. A man in a sharp suit stood at the entrance of my villa. His charming smile and handsome features unmistakable. This was Lucas Clark, who, like Ethan, had been my old classmate. We attended the same high school and university together, but gradually grew apart after Ethan and I became a couple. He followed me into the villa. After pouring us both red wine, I carried my glass to the balcony, gazing toward the Ryan family estate in the distance. Luke joined me, crystal glass in hand. Well, did they appreciate the 2 gifts I designed for you? Immensely, I replied tonelessly, as if discussing someone else's affairs. His wineglass lifted in invitation. Shall we toast to that? With a humorless chuckle, I clinked my glass against his. Luke sipped elegantly before murmuring, the older the wine, the more complex its flavor reveals itself to be. Between his striking looks and the alcohol's warmth, the words felt loaded with implication. Before I could process this, his arms encircled me. I didn't resist, leaning into his embrace. Are you implying you improve with age? His quiet laugh vibrated against me. You had terrible taste. Letting me slip through your fingers back then. Wasn't the timing perfect now? I countered with a faint smile. Morning light revealed an empty bed and a handwritten note. One night of longing has finally unraveled a decade of dreams. I've loved you for years, but you remained blind to it. Now that I'm another woman's husband, there's no path left for us. Don't seek me out. I refuse to become Ethan to your Vivi. Farewell forever. Vivi, who carried my entire youth in her hands. Returning to the balcony, I inhaled the crisp dawn air. Last night was our farewell to youth. Then, though it does feel belated, my whisper carried on the breeze. Goodbye forever. The Luke of my adolescence. As I prepared to leave after dressing, footsteps approached. Expecting Luke's return, I turned to find Ethan instead, cradling an infant. You signed the divorce papers? I demanded coldly. His face crumpled. I can't. I won't sign them. Then why are you here? Aren't I allowed to see my own wife? The plea barely escaped his trembling lips. I'd offered countless second chances, each repaid with fresh betrayal. His presence now, especially holding that child, only deepened old wounds. Moving closer, I studied his tear-streaked face. We both know some fractures never heal. There's no going back. Sobs racked his frame as he suddenly lifted the baby. Wait, what are you doing? My mistake was Sophia. He choked out. She's in prison now for attempted murder. This, he shook violently. The infant's blanket slipping. This accident is all that stands between us. The sickening thud cut through his madness before I could react. My scream mingled with his deranged weeping as the tiny body lay motionless on marble floors. He scared me so badly that I broke out in a cold sweat. Fortunately, we were close enough that I managed to catch the infant, preventing that unimaginable horror from unfolding. Slap. After securing the baby, I furiously struck Ethan across the face. Are you insane? Instead of anger, he gripped my hand and smashed it against his own cheek repeatedly. Yes, I am insane, he rasped. If you don't forgive me, I'll truly lose my mind. Vivi, forgive me. I can't divorce you. I need us to stay together. His deranged rambling unexpectedly clarified everything for me. Sophia would endanger an infant for personal gain. And here stood Ethan employing equally twisted tactics to manipulate me. Humans truly were terrifyingly mercurial creatures. His unpredictability represented endless unknowns, and nothing frightened me more than uncertainty. The fear coiling in my chest solidified my resolve. I could never forgive Ethan. Not now. Not ever.